Ah,
Hello, sir.
there he is. Hello, mate. You well?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Yes, good, mate. Thanks for giving me a few minutes grace. Carrying on with another call. So what we're going to do, what we're really trying to do with the hot seat is not obviously this is not going to go to anyone external. So it's really picking your brains behind the mindset of someone that loses 39 pounds in 16 weeks. As everyone that's watching this is capable of doing that, yet most won't. So we're really trying to work out what was driving you, that psychologically, physically. I know we always talk about having a massive reason why. So I'll just take it from there. Sound good?
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
And I'm recording, so I'm gonna send this to the rest of the group with a view to helping them. And we're actually going to feature this with a few others that I've got coming on in the membership site, so people can actually get some benefit from it. Okay, so just to recap, you lost 39 pounds in 16 weeks, and that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not interested, although we've done the testimony on how you feel and blah blah blah, all the benefits, but just tell everyone what was the main reason why did you come into the program to start with?
So the main reason was I was constantly tired. I was stressed out to the nines, incredibly high blood sugar levels, being a type 2 diabetic as well, and fed up being the fat, miserable bloke at the back of the room. That they were the main reasons.
Simple as that. So it's safe to say your why was really high, wasn't it? If you were to because this is the reason why some get amazing results, some just get okay to good results. If you were to say on a scale of 1 to 10, the reason how powerful your why was for getting the result that we got, where would you say you were on that scale of 1 to 10?
9.5, 10.
Yeah, and I know that. So anyone that's watching this, you have to have a massive reason why. And I talk about this all the time with you guys direct. I talk about it in my marketing all the time. Losing a few pounds for the summer is not going to get anywhere because, as you guys know, fat loss is quite simple. It's never easy. So that's what we're looking at with Ian today. That the mindset, the psychology, the reason why that he put every effort into it. So with that all in mind, what made you get up every single day and hit the numbers that I gave you without fail? Even going on, it was 2 or 3 weeks in Greece, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks in Greece.
Two weeks in Greece, and all the other stuff in life. What made you literally stick to the plan completely without missing a thing?
So I think, in all honesty, I made it a dedication. It was right. I've got 16 weeks. I am going to achieve something. We all achieve things in our lives. We're good at business, we're good at family. But for me, I wanted to achieve something for myself. And I just purely dedicated with the help of the family. Now, this was a team effort, The missus was involved, the kids were involved, We sat down, we discussed it, and I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. And in actual fact, they got me that book, right? The 5 a.m. Club, and that was the starter for me. I was working, and the only time I could get my walk in was first thing in the morning. So for me, it was 4:45, wake up, get out of bed, get my steps in.
So come rain or shine, you made it a simple decision. 4:45, you're going to get up, however you're feeling. You got up and did it. Simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah. I flicked the trigger in my head and said, in order for me to achieve this, I've got to become disciplined. And it was a change of mindset. I had all the motivation in the world, but I've had that 3, 4, 5 different times before, Gav. For me, I changed it to a discipline. And it was 4:45 every morning, come rain, shine, whatever, 5, awake, 5 o'clock, out the door, 10,000 steps, done.
How long did the 10,000 steps take you?
So it started off being an hour, and then I got quicker and quicker, put a bit more effort into it. So in the end, I was doing it between 45, 50 minutes.
And you did that every day?
Every day, every single day. Even when I was on holiday, when the missus was laying in bed, I got up and just went walking, and
And look, that alone, for the guys watching this, I'm hoping you're actually taking on what it takes, because I know that some people in the group, and not necessarily you, if you're watching this right now, maybe some previous ones, previous people in the group, have looked at Ian in the group and said, oh, it's okay for him. How can he lose 39 pounds? I've only lost 10. 10,000 steps every day before 6 a.m., every day for 16 weeks. That's why Ian lost 39 pounds in 16 weeks, plus all the other stuff. So talk me through your day. You got up, you did your walks, you 10,000 steps, you're 6 o'clock. What happened then?
Yep, so I came back in 6 o'clock, had a protein shake, started recharging.
Did you make that with milk, water? Tell everyone what you did.
That was literally, I started off with some chocolate flavoured protein shakes that my lads were using, and having them with water was not nice. So I found the fruit ones on my protein, the fruit ones. It's just like drinking on squash, so I'd come in at 6, chug one of them down, 6:30, take my daughter to work or take her to the train station. And then I'd come home and I'd start work. Now, religiously for the last 15 years, I've always woken up and had breakfast, because I had this mentality that I'm diabetic, I've got to test my blood, I've got to jab myself with insulin, so I need to eat. Well, after about 4 weeks, that all stopped. And I didn't start having breakfast till about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So I'd sort of done a fasted cardio with my walk, come back and had a protein shake, got myself ready, and then started work. And then about 10 o'clock, yeah, okay, I'm a bit hungry now, I'll have some breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
So that varied. I sometimes have porridge with a scoop of protein in it, just to thicken it up and boost my protein intake, because 130 grams of protein is quite a task to start off with, to get up to that level,
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
And I didn't want to be eating chicken breast, broccoli and rice 3 times a day. That's not part of the plan anyway. You want to be able to live. So I just sort of made little tweaks and, sort of read the modules, okay, put some protein in with your porridge oats, my daughter told me that off TikTok. He went, I've seen some guys on TikTok, and what they do is they make overnight oats and put protein powder in it, and then I'd have toast and Marmite sometimes, just 2 really thin slices of granary toast and Marmite, porridge, or I'd have protein yogurt with berries on it, I just varied it up. But for the last 10, 12 years, I've been eating 3 slices of toast with Marmite on it and 2 cups of coffee, and that was my breakfast.
Yeah.
But then come 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm starving hungry again.
Of course you are, yeah. So you get a good bunch of protein, probably 30, 40 grams, depending on what you had.
Yeah.
Then how else would the day run?
So then I'd work. I was working at home at the time anyway. I'd work until about 1 o'clock. Then I'd take the dog out for a walk. So there'd be another 3,000-4,000 steps there with the dog, going out for a walk. Come back, make some lunch. It was pretty much lunch was always chicken or fish and a salad, and it was either a chicken breast and a made-up salad that I did myself, or a tin of tuna.
Tuna, simple, isn't it? A tin of tuna with some salad.
Yeah,
simple.
And then the afternoon would be work. Then I'd finish between 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then normally it was go and pick my daughter up from the train station, and then we both go to the gym. Because that was a concerted effort from her as well. She decided to come to the gym to me, with me. So pick her up, then we'd go off to the gym, hour and a half in the gym, come home, and then have.
That's weight training you were doing.
Yeah, that was weight training. Yeah, I didn't do any cardio. the only cardio I've done has been spin classes at the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not built for running. You know, I'm quite a big lad, and running just doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. So the walking was my cardio, and then I'd do an hour and a half of gym of weights. Come home, the good lady wife had made dinner, you know, and we had the turkey burgers, you know, from your menu list. You know, we've tried loads of different things, you know, and
Yeah.
luckily I had the support where she was going to do all the main meal cooking, you know, and stuff like that. But that was what it was. It was a family effort. They knew I was miserable, Gav, you know, and
Yeah.
they wanted to make the change with me, and they wanted to help me along the way.
So that is a good point you make there. Collectively, it wasn't just you; it was a joint effort. Although you were doing the work, your wife knew you weren't in a great spot physically and mentally. The kids were aware that dad's not operating at his highest level. So there could be no greater reason why to do this. And if you don't mind me saying it, your blood sugar was at a terrible level, wasn't it? It was at a life-threatening level, type 2. I know you've got. And did you see your testimonial yesterday, by the way?
Yeah,
Thanks for that. But quite a few people contact me. You know, you went from 80 to 42, and I had to actually check the readings myself. 42 and below is the blood sugar of someone without diabetes. 42 to, I think it was some 42 to 45 or 50 was pre-diabetic, and above 50 was someone with full-blown type 2. So you were actually in the reading. Incredible results. I don't want to go too much into the results. Okay, so let me get this right. So to recap, walk every single morning, 7 days a week, 10,000 steps, dog walk after lunch, and then the gym, lifting weights, how many times a week?
4 times a week.
So, 4 times a week, and then that takes the Friday. And then what were you getting done on Saturday? I know you were getting some spin sessions done on the weekend, weren't you?
So Saturday I'd do a spin, and Sunday I'd do a spin as well. So, you know, I had one day off a week from 3 days off a week from the weights, and then my cardio was just constant, you know, and I really began to enjoy it, you know, and I have lifted weights years and years ago, but to actually get back into it and enjoy it, you know, it's an hour and a half of your day. And I know people are incredibly busy with work, you know, and busy social lives. That to me was part of the discipline that I had to block out in my diary, you know. And I know you said it before, and I did a lot of journaling over the 16 weeks. But the biggest thing I did was, if you were to look at my work diary, between 5 and 6 was always blocked out for a walk. You know, lunchtime was blocked out for a walk to take the dog for a walk, and then in the evening it was always the hour and a half was blocked out. And then I knew, and I'd get a reminder on the phone, gym session in half an hour, you know, you're ready.
Yeah. No, the question that is on my mind, and I know what you're going to say, but the question a lot of people will ask, if you were doing that every day for 16 weeks, let's say the alarm went off and it was time to go to the gym and you really didn't want to go. This is where people end up sabotaging their own best efforts. What made you, regardless of how you feel, because correct me if I'm wrong, there would have been some days where you really didn't feel like doing what you said you'd do. Okay, I know that. But what made you do exactly what you said you do? What made you keep up that discipline, the active discipline every single day? That's the key, because people are motivated, and you know there's a big difference between motivation and discipline. But even when you're disciplined, what makes someone choose, you know what, I'm going to sack this off because no one's watching and no one will know, to I'm going to do this regardless of how I feel? How did you turn that switch on?
It all comes back to me making a promise to myself that I was going to succeed in this. And that was the driver. You know, it was me not wanting to fail myself. And, you know, the promise I made to myself was, come hell or high water, I'm going to get this done. You know, and there were some mornings like I was like, it was absolutely pissing down, and you're like, oh no, get up, get out and just get it done. Because then the day's your own, you know, and that was the one big thing I found, even at the weekend. By 6 o'clock, I've done all my steps. Do you know what I mean? I'm done, you know, and all the rest is bunts. You know, it's all added, you know, it's extra bunts for me if we do anything else during the day.
Yeah, that's the bit that people could wish they could tap into, and sometimes it's just having a case. It all boils back to what you said. That reason why you said you weren't going to fail. Now, was it? There's two parts to that. There's the sort of the carrot and the stick. People work towards a goal. Is it for fear of failure or not achieving the goal, or was it the consequences? Sorry, was it the consequences of not succeeding? You know, was it you were walking away towards pleasure or getting away from pain? Was it a bit of both?
It was a bit of both. I mean, the walking I was fine with, but sacking off the weights, I did think a couple of times, I do not want to go and work in a gym for an hour and a half. It's 30 degrees outside, and I'm just going to be like a bag of sweat. But for me, and I think this is what I really want to try and get across to the guys, it's an investment, and it's not an investment in like a money investment. Although you do say, you know, when you talk about your salary, you wouldn't waste it. It's an investment in my health. At the end of the day, I know I've got another 20, 30 years in my kids now, and 5 months ago, I might have only had 10.
That, my friend, is the harsh reality. That could have possibly been a reality. Where you were at a dangerous level of being overweight with type 2 is a recipe for disaster. Now you've literally reversed that.
Yeah.
You've taken the weight off, and we're still at the stage 1. We're just getting to go to the exciting part. As you know, some of you know, well, you moved into phase 2. We're going to start building some muscle, take some more body fat off. I'm just trying to think if there's anything to add to that. Is there anything that you think I've missed that you want to add? Just to, if someone was watching this, and here's what I want to get across to people that are watching this. I don't want you to necessarily copy. Don't go and copy what Ian's done. Don't say, okay, well, Ian did 10,000 steps, walk the dog, gym 4 times a week. You've got to find your reason why and your level. I think some of you will have seen this. Let's say this is a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being, you know, if I put a gun to your head and I said, if you don't lose 2 stone in 30 days, I'm going to blow your brains out. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. That's the David Goggins style. If you're not sure who he is, look up Goggins. Ian is probably as close to Goggins as you would want to go in terms of discipline. I'll be honest. I'll hold my hand up to Ian. I've never done what you've done in 16 weeks. But I've never had a massive reason why. Like, my reasons for getting in shape was to look good, impress girls, jump around on the fucking stage and get paid money 20 years ago. So it wasn't a health reason. My reason why wasn't life-threatening. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 gun to the head. What you've done is fucking special, excuse my language, and not everyone can do it. But let's say you've got David Goggins there, 100 out of 100. You've got Ian, you've got the likes of Nesh, you've got Reno, a few others of the guys in the group that are 97, 98 out of 100. And you've got the ones out of 100 that don't do anything. Now, anyone that comes into the group, no one's a 1. Most people are somewhere between there and there. You've got to find, 1, your reason why, and then 2, here's what I need to do to make this happen. How much does the result that I'm trying to achieve, what does that mean to me? Attach some emotion to that and then put that plan into practice and not let yourself off the hook. So, gun to the head, if I put a gun to someone's head and said, you're going to lose 2 stone in the next 30 days, and they genuinely knew that I was going to do it, your routine would actually become a piece of cake, wouldn't it? If it was that desperate. So that's what we've got to be thinking. Not going to put a gun to your head. Don't expect you to do what Ian's done. Don't want you to be like David Goggins. But what would you say to the people that, how do they go from maybe being a 40 or 50? How would they raise that bar to being a 70 or an 80? What would you say to them there?
I think if you're a 40 or a 50, you're in it, but you're not in it to win it. I think in order for in it, you know, I mean, some of the guys in the group, they're the slow and steady. I mean, luckily, I did it quite quickly. Ness done it quite quickly as well, you know, but I had a lot more weight than some of the guys on the call in the call tab, you know. But for me, to be in it to win it, you will get to a stage where there will just be a little trigger in your head, and you'll go to yourself. I'm not comparing myself to other people, but I know I can do more. And that for me is just a little, it's a tweak. It's a tiny little tweak.
It's if I could get everyone to, because everyone's got that trigger. But as you said there, very important, anyone that's watching this as well, it's finding that trigger. And some people will find it and some people won't, unfortunately. It doesn't mean they're good or a bad person. But I invite you to try and find out what's going to really, like, you want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, let's bloody do it. Let's do it. What do you need to do? How do I find that trigger? And I guess if we had the answer to that, I'd be a billionaire. In reality, I would speak to everyone, turn the switch on. Everyone I spoke to, I'll probably have 100, 200 of these conversations. If everyone joined that I actually spoke to. And the reason some people come into the program, most don't. Most conversations don't, and it usually comes down to one, they've tried things before, it's never worked. Two, they don't trust themselves, they don't trust the process. So why would this be any different? Once they're in here, they've trusted me to a certain extent. They've seen the results, they trust themselves. But now it's getting them to turn that switch on and fulfill the potential. There's a lot of people in the group right now that are going to fulfill the potential, but there's a lot of people in the group that won't, but really could if they could find that little switch. So that's what I'm trying to. And the answer is, we'll never really know unless we were in your shoes here. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the one that was staring down the next 20, 30 years or the next 10 years, worst case scenario. Yes.
I think the biggest thing for me is that never get downhearted. You are going to have blips. I mean, luckily I had a good support base around me that prevented me from having blips. And I know not everyone has that support, help, but it's all about, okay, I've had a crap day, wipe it off, let's start again tomorrow, and I know it's a bit anal, but just tracking literally everything, it takes 5 seconds, banging,
5 seconds.
And at the end of the week, you lose 3 or 4 pounds, you're like, great, why can't I do that last week? Why can't I do it the week before? And I love the guys in the call, and when they say, I tracked for 2 or 3 days and then I had a couple of days off, it's a bit like that's your switch that you need to trigger. You need to track 7 days a week.
That's it. 7 days. And look, you made an excellent point there. And I'd probably say this on every group coaching call. If you have a bad day, you don't take it personally. You draw a line under it and you move on the next day, because everyone knows what they should do. The only way that this can go wrong is if someone takes that bad day and then says, let's say it was a Tuesday, and that most people have done this, I'll screw this, I'll start next Monday.
Yeah.
Then the way goes on, the mindset goes, you've given yourself another reason to not do it. You start doubting the whole process. You start doubting yourself. You say, look, okay, I messed up. Here's what it is. Tomorrow morning, I'm going for my walks. I'm on my calories. I'm tracking every single day. And once you make that decision, like you made a decision 5 to 6 a.m. every single morning that you're going to do 10,000 steps, come rain or shine, short of major injury, you decided that was what you were going to do. And I do that as well. I go to the gym 6 to 7, 10 past 7 every morning, 7 days a week. Probably 3 of those days out of 7, I don't want to. But I get up, it's on my diary, time to go to the gym, whether I like it or not. And that's the discipline. And you can only build that discipline by having a massive reason why. So my reason why for doing that, people say, well, why are you doing that? Because I want to stay alive as long as possible. That's my why. I'm 50 years old and I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old out there that don't need me being an old man of 70.
Yeah.
They need me to be a young man of 70. She's going to be 22 when I'm 70. That worries me. You know, I'm not going to be 50 when she's 20. So I need to be in the best shape I can possibly be. There's my reason why. So that's my reason why there is as close to your reason for wanting to do this for the first 16 weeks and take him to the next level. So
yeah,
look, we're going to wrap it here, my man. Thanks for that. I think it's been very valuable what you said there.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're watching this, one, find your why. write those reasons down why you want to achieve what you want to achieve, and decide to actually get fucking serious about this. Because if you dabble, you dip your toes, you're going to lose some weight, because you just will. But you're not going to fulfill your potential. You come to the end of the 12 weeks and think, I wish I'd done more. You've got the opportunity to make a huge difference here, but you've got to decide. And I want you to honestly look at your own efforts across your training, your step count, your nutrition, the feedback form, the watching the modules, all the elements of the program that you know you're in, and score each element on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 means you've done everything, you turn up to every call, you do everything perfectly. Ian was 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 across the board. Score yourself honestly out of those 5, 6 areas. And if you're not an 8 in all 5, what do I need to do to make that an 8? Okay, I'll leave it on there, chaps. Ian, thanks for that, mate. I'm going to keep the whole raw, unedited version, even the beginning, even the end. I think it's going to be very valuable. We'll put this into the coaching. So if you're seeing this, and look, drop Ian an email if you want. I'm sure he'll help you out with a bit of mindset. He's the master of this now, discipline king. Ian, mate, thanks for everything. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. Thanks, Gav. Tell him, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye.